Hey man, what up, YouTube? It's your boy ISO T back with another reaction. Yeah, I know I'm a Lions fan. I really am. I'm not a casual football fan, alright? Not like these other reactors that just be talking. I really do know football, you know what I'm saying? The X's and O's of it, not just you feel me? So I like videos like this where it's film study and all type of shit. Uh, Shout out to Brett Coleman. I don't know who, I never watched his vid before, but it looked like he really do this football content. So, and he brought up Aidan Hutchinson. So, in my opinion, Aidan Hutchinson top five. My top five edge rushers, and y'all know I'm a Lions fan. My top five edge rushers is, I'll say, T.J. Watt, Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, Micah Parsons. I think I'm gonna put Aidan over Bosa, and then I'm gonna go Nick Bosa. I guess I'll do top six because I feel like those are all tier one, and then everybody else. After that, it's tier two. After that tier one I just talked about, it's tier two. In that tier two, I'll probably go Daniel Hunter. Um, got like Brian Burns. I got like Montez Sweat. Um, Khalil Mack. Feel like I'm missing people. Shit, Joey. Who else we got? Trying to think team by team. Chiefs, nah. Chargers, nobody right now. Unless they still got Khalil, I don't know. Broncos, hell nah. Raiders, I said Max Crosby. Hassan Reddick. I ain't gonna lie, Bryce Huff was hooping like. Oh, Josh Allen. Josh Hines Allen. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely up there. Definitely. Josh is up there in that. Him and Daniel Hunter, they right there. They at the top of that tier too. Shit. Let's get to it, man. I'm done talking.
Hutchinson from the area.
You've committed two guys to him, and he's still making the play.
There we go again. Hutchinson with the play to seal it. He goes down. Aidan Hutchinson.
He's one of those guys that's relentless.
Lions fans already know this pretty well, but last year Aidan Hutchinson had one of the most dominant seasons by any player at any position.
But they don't know that because guess what? They don't care about pressures. They only care about sack numbers.
In the
And he got his sack numbers in the playoffs, so it doesn't even matter.
entire league. Among all defensive linemen, he had the most pass rush snaps in the NFL because he's a true Iron Man that never comes off the
Greatest
field.
motor.
And among all top defensive linemen in the
Insane
league,
motor.
including Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt, Chris Jones, Micah Parsons, I mean all of them, Hutchinson had the highest share of his respective teams' combined D-line pressures. Just to put this
I've seen
in
that on
perspective,
Twitter, actually,
typically
37%.
an elite pass rusher is going to account for 25 to 30% of the total
His shit
pressure
was
count for
37.
his team's defensive line, including both their edge rushers and their interior rushers. But Hutchinson was all the way up at 38.2%. That's a
38.
massive.
Bro, look at T.J. Watt. T.J. Watt has help, bro. He had Cam Hayward, even though I think Cam was in there. Highsmith. Hendrickson got Hubbard. That's his name? Parsons got fucking him and DeMarcus Lawrence both up here. Look at that. Myles Garrett he had Zadarius Smith. Max Crosby. That's tough. See, that's why him and Aidan both up there. That's why he right. Cause I can't name nobody else on his D line. Bro, Chris Jones had an insane season, and Aaron Donald still had more of his team pressures. That's crazy. Khalil Mack had a good year last year, good bounce back year. Yeah, but none of these, bro. Don't worry. We got Aidan, Aleem, and DJ Reader. Hopefully, Davenport, James Houston, fucking Matthew Betts, who I think is gonna could be a key piece. Who else we got on the outside? We got more. Kaminsky's injured, so Josh Pascal could be, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully, we're gonna see who gonna shine on that edge opposite of Aidan. Because the two D tackles, I think we got the best. Who got a better D tackle? We probably do got the best D tackle duo in the league. Hell yeah. Yeah.
Number. And not just because he had a bigger sample size than almost anybody else,
out.
because they went so deep into the playoffs. Even though he had the most pass rush snaps, he also had the sixth best pass rush win rate in the league as well, which is insane. We're not just talking about one of the most durable defensive linemen in the NFL, we're also talking about one of the most efficient, one of the most explosive, and one of the most versatile as well. And that's an incredibly rare combination. And so today, hopefully, by the end of this show, we will have properly given Aidan Hutchinson his due. So sit back, relax, and enjoy everything you need to know about Aidan Hutchinson, his signature pass rush style, and what makes that signature style work so damn well. Let's get into it. When talking about what makes a good pass rusher, I think it's best to start with the men that are tasked with blocking those pass rushers. I was recently out in Dallas, as you know, at the O-Line Mastermind Summit run by Duke Manyweather, where all the nation's top offensive linemen at both the NFL and collegiate level gather to learn from one another and collectively prepare for the coming season. Now, ironically, at the same time, I mean, literally...
Is that Kobe Swordsdale there? Okay, I don't know if that's him. Maybe I'm getting his face messed up.
On the same day, BT Jordan's Pass Rush Summit was also going on at that same facility, with guys like Von Miller and Rashawn Gary working on their craft right outside. Teron Armstead was one of the veteran offensive line presenters who I thought did a great job, and when talking about the foundation on which all great pass rushers build their game, this is what he had to say.
You got maybe 15% of the guys that actually they got a bag, got a repertoire, they got some moves to them. This game is predicated on this is a power game, this is a power sport here in the trenches. So you can't stop power if you're not able to anchor against power. There's no reason for a D lineman to go to anything else. You can stop power, if you can have an anchor, you got a chance in this league. It is the most frequent move you're gonna see. You're gonna see bull rush. I say over and over again, these guys learn all these moves on these bad. Shit look cool on Instagram. They first day of training camp, they bull rushing. So we gotta get ready to stop that.
You heard it straight from the source, folks. Power is the foundation of everything when it comes to trench play. If you don't have power, you don't have anything. And luckily for Lions fans, Aidan Hutchinson has a tremendous amount of power. Even despite his lack of length, and we all know he famously only measured in with a 7th percentile arm length at the NFL Combine when he was coming out of Michigan, he is still so good at timing and landing his initial punch into the blocker's chest that he can weaponize his raw timing and landing.
This is crazy considering he's not going straight south. Like, he's going horizontal. He's going, like, this is crazy. He's going, like, bro. And he still was able to get on the center and push him down without having momentum
punch into the blocker's chest, that he can weaponize his
raw
power
straight
and
down
just
momentum.
run straight through their anchor. If you give him a runway, even against guards that are pushing 320 plus, he will compress the pocket.
But
and
then look at our secondary and our
guards
shit
that are
was so trash last year.
320 plus.
Like, what did Jalen Reeves-Maybin do right here, bro?
Anchor. If you give him a runway, even against guards that are...
Like, damn, bro, you OD excessively played that. Like, hold on, bro.
320.
Then Cortland Sutton got you out the way because of how aggressive you were.
Plus, he will compress the pocket and he will make the quarterback panic. He's just that strong. But he knows it too. Like Teron Armstead talked about, power is just the foundation. If you have that, you can do anything. And Hutch uses that strength to set up all sorts of counters and combos off of it. Combos like, for example, this push-pull move against Chicago where he landed a two-hand punch on the chest of the guard. He then went for a full extension as he worked his way to the outside edge, but once he felt that guard try to re-anchor against his power and he caught him leaning just a little bit, he sidestepped him while yanking him forward to take away the guard's balance because he was now way too far over his toes, and then Hutchinson finished with a big hit on Fields to force an incompletion. That initial violence in Hutch's punch is just so good, and it sets the table for him to attack guards in a lot of different ways because Aidan knows that they can really only play against him one way. Offensive linemen have to sit on that power first or they're definitely going to die because he's just going to run over them. And so Hutchinson formulates his pass rush plans off of that expectation.
The fact that he got a sack on this play,
linemen have to sit on that power
100% committed to him. Look at this. He said, "Oh shit,
first, or they're
I gotta get there."
Definitely going to die because he's just going to run over him. And so Hutchinson formulates his pass rush plans off of that expectation.
That's what we mean by motor. Like someone who just got double teamed like that, got fucking hit stick by the guard, still going. Chased Fields after he broke contain.
There's a sack that he got last year early in the season against Atlanta that I think is a perfect example of this. Once again, he's matched up on a guard here. This is Matthew Bergeron, who was a rookie that had, let's say, a trial by fire last year with the Falcons. And Hutchinson once again gets a great two-handed punch into his chest to start this rush off.
About to rip
the initial pop is just vicious, and Hutch knows he's got Bergeron on his heels. But he also knows that any guard worth his salt is going to respond to that first punch by doing what is called a refit. A refit is when a guard or a tackle or a center, just whoever, loses control of inside position on a defender, right? So let's say you're coming up here with a two-handed punch. Make sure I'm on camera here, right? So thumbs up. That's the technique that offensive line and defensive line coaches teach. You get more power when you strike with your thumbs up. You don't want to go thumbs even. You want to go thumbs up. Let's say you get punched on your inside shoulder here and it's inside your punch. You lose control. So you're going to refit. You're going to pop that elbow, come up and under. You don't really want to pop it too much. You really want it to be quick. But you're going to come back up and under. You're going to refit it inside the punch of the defender and reestablish inside control on their breastplate. That is a refit. I'll use Zach Martin as an example of what this is supposed to look like because he's amazing at it. This is from the Patriots game in week 4, and he comes in a bit wide on his initial strike against this 3 technique, Sam Roberts, but he recognizes instantly that he gave up his chest against a power rush. So you can see Martin immediately bring this inside hand around and under Roberts' own inside arm so that he can refit into Roberts' chest and gain back control of his frame. In just a fraction of a second, Martin went from out of control, in a compromised position, probably going to give up a lot of ground, to in complete control of the rep. And that's all because of how fast he is with his refits. It really does make a big difference. Now, back to this rep of Hutchinson against Bergeron, where Hutchinson also has control with his initial strike into Bergeron's chest. He knows that refit is coming, because that's kind of all Bergeron can do here. You can see that inside hand from Bergeron swing around and back inside, but before he can get a grip on Aidan's chest, Hutchinson cranks his hips around, he brings his own inside hand down to knock away the attempted refit from Bergeron, and then in one fluid motion, he pulls the rug out from under him by taking his shoulders away so he has nothing to hold on to. He keeps working to that outside edge of Bergeron, and then he shoots his inside arm through to transition to a rip move as the finisher for a sack fumble. This is a gorgeous combo move off of that power, and it hit quickly. I mean, without breaking it down frame by frame, you probably wouldn't even see it because it's so fast. Strike, drive, neutralize the refit, turn, disengage, rip, and finish all in under like a second and a half. I mean, guys, it truly does not get any better than this rep. This is the definition of teach tape. Now, if Hutchinson only had those power rush combos, like those were the only tools he had in his toolbox, he would still probably be one of the better pass rushers in the NFL. But what makes him so great is that power isn't all he has. In fact, I think he's got one of the deepest bags of tricks out of all the rushers in the NFL, despite how young he is. Before I get into that part, though, kind of explaining everything else he does really well, did you know that when you started this video, you could have also simultaneously taken a Factor meal out of the fridge, unwrapped it, put it in the microwave, heated it up, and if you're like me, wolfed it down immediately before you even got this far in the episode. So if you happen to be watching this on your lunch break from a break room, wherever you happen to be, first of all, thank you for doing that and spending your lunch break with me while I talk about Aidan Hutchinson. But second of all, I want you to know that there is a way to get convenient and fast and above all tasty meals delivered and possible.
I thought he was going to tell me to like the video.
And with that, let's get back to the show. So, we know Aidan Hutchinson has power, but if you watch all of his pressures from throughout the season, you see a lot of finesse-type moves pop up as well as a changeup of sorts. For example, he has a really nasty swipe move that he busted out against Minnesota for a sack, and people who have watched a lot of the Bosa brothers will recognize that one. They call it a side scissors move, and it's kind of their signature, but Hutch has a darn good swipe move in his own right. Another fun move that you see pop up from time to time is a long arm ghost. That's where he's going to line up super wide and then flash a long arm stab into the tackle's chest to bait the tackle into leaning into him because he thinks he's going to be rushing with power, only for him to then kind of pull the rug out and dip under and around him with a ghost move. Also, by the way, plays like this one are literally why this combo is called a ghost move in the first place, because, well, now you see him, now you don't, right? That's the whole point of it. So clearly Hutchinson has a really deep variety of secondary and ancillary moves that rely more on his speed and flexibility than just pure strength, but there is no counter move in his arsenal that he hits quite as often or quite as effectively as the spin move. Lions fans know this already because they watch him every single week, but I swear at least 5 times a game he's going to throw a spin out there. You would think that tackles would have caught on by now, but he is so good at it that even when opposing offensive lines go into the matchup knowing that it's coming, he still lands it every single week. I like to compare it to Dwight Freeney's spin move personally, and I know that's lofty standards, and I also know that he's built very differently than Dwight Freeney. He's a lot bigger and arguably stronger, while Dwight was smaller, more explosive, and definitely more flexible. So just from a physical profile standpoint, they're very different players. But Aidan's
like
spin move from a technique standpoint is very similar to Dwight's. You guys know me and how much I love to bring out old film, so of course I'm going to have evidence for this. This is prime Dwight Freeney film back in 2006, going up against then rookie Andrew Whitworth, funny enough. Big Whit was still just a young pup fresh out of LSU at the time, and he truly did have his welcome to the NFL moment here against Freeney. You can see just how insanely clean this counter spin is. It's a thing of beauty, and we all know that. That's why Dwight is one of the best ever. But I'm going to back this up so you can see just how good it is frame by frame. He gains so much ground in his first 2 steps because he's so explosive, and he's really selling the speed rush hard here. And keep in mind, every tackle in the league was more terrified of his speed rush than they were even of his spin move. In that same season, he put up reps on tape like this one against Dallas, where he timed out the punch and basically just pulled a Muhammad Ali on him, dipped right under it, and then he cranked his hips and turned the corner faster than almost any other defensive end I have ever seen in my life. I mean, this is
you don't even look like a speed rusher type.
And almost nobody in that era could block it. Unless you were a Hall of Fame tackle yourself, you were probably going to get eaten alive, which is why Whitworth was so worried about it, obviously. Now, going back to this rep against Whitworth specifically, you can see how Freeney uses the fear of that speed rush in order to land his counter spin. Dwight leads with the chop to knock down Whitworth's outside hand, and at the same time, he flares his outside foot even further outward on his 3rd step, so he can kind of roll off of that plant foot, bring his inside foot through, and he's going to end up in this exact position. This is what some D-line coaches call sitting in the chair. When you throw a spin move, you want to be sitting in that chair. It may seem unbalanced, but that's the point. You basically want to be falling backwards at the top of your spin so that the only way for your body to stay upright is to finish the spin and get your feet back up under you. You are basically weaponizing instinct here. Your body naturally does not want to let itself fall down, so you're going to instinctually open your hips and finish that spin as fast as possible if you really lean into it. If you don't commit and you just stand up straight, you're going to be spinning in place like an idiot. So again, you got to sit in the chair, and Dwight Freeney was great at doing exactly that. He was great at committing to the spin, and it's a big reason why he was so deadly. Now, going back to Aidan Hutchinson's own spin move, you can see a lot of the same principles in how he does it, even though he's a lot bigger than Dwight. He'll sell hard up the field and show a speed rush, then give a little jab step right towards the tackle just to bait out his hands. And from there, he'll flare out that outside plant foot, just like Freeney did, and then he'll bring that inside foot all the way through while kind of rolling his shoulders and rolling his hips right off the punch of the tackle so he can't get a grip on him. Once Aidan brings that inside foot through, plants, and rolls, he's in a textbook chair position. His weight is all the way back in the direction that he wants the spin to finish in, so his body is naturally getting pulled in that direction because he's essentially throwing his body weight there, and all he has to do is just keep riding that wave and keep the spin going so he can kind of slingshot himself out of it and be immediately in a dead sprint. Anytime you see a great spin move in the NFL, you got to look for these exact techniques. It's all about footwork, hip flexibility, and kind of having the trust in yourself to throw your entire body
shit
weight
works
in a
so good
direction
against
it
pocket
doesn't
QBs,
want to
bro.
go. Hutchinson has that trust in himself because he's done this 1,000
right there
times,
wasn't even
and that's what matters.
That wasn't
Hutchinson
even
has
his
that
initial
throw your
plan.
entire
What's so crazy, he could do this as his initial rush, but he could also do this as a counter rush, which is so tough.
body weight in a direction
Like
it
here, he
doesn't
did it as a
want to go.
counter.
Hutchinson
He wanted to swipe outside and get past, but he couldn't. So he just
has that trust in himself
so
because he's
tough.
done this 1,000 times, and that's what matters. He's repped it over and over and over again, and you can tell he's studied how the best of the best have done this move in the NFL. And really,
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, bro. With his work ethic and his bag, bro, I'll be ready for some 20 sacks, for multiple 20 sack seasons, bro. I'm gonna just put it out there right now. Like, his work ethic is so crazy, and his motor is so insane. Once he just perfects every part of his bag, bro, to go along with that motor and that, oh my God, bro. He's gonna be so crazy. Yo. Defense Player of the Year this year. I'm calling it right now. DPOY this year. Calling it right now.
not just this move, but every move in his bag. He is clearly a student of the game, and that's why he's great. I don't know who came up with this phrase, but it's one of my favorites, and I'm going to leave you with it because I truly cannot think of any better descriptor of Aidan Hutchinson. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. But when talent works hard, everyone else is fucked. A couple housekeeping notes, by the way, before we get out of here for the week. For those of you that keep track of what I have in my glass every single episode, do something about now. It's in What Happened This Football podcast, which is linked in the description below. So,
I fuck with bro. I ain't gonna lie, he went crazy. I'm gonna start watching more of his videos. Hella educational, knows what he's talking about. Shout out Brett. Yes, sir. But yeah, man, Aidan DPOY, that's my takeaway. Aidan DPOY. Y'all go ahead and put y'all little bets in, put y'all little slips in. Put Aidan DPOY. Take J-Mo for 1,000 yards. Go ahead and take Gibbs for 1,000 rushing yards. Take Lions for the Super Bowl. I'm taking all 4 of those. Facts. I ain't gonna put them on a parlay though, but I'm out of here, y'all. Subscribe if you new, like the video. Let me know what y'all think. I'm out of here.